Hi there, my name is Eric Heater. I'm the host of the Heater Dynasty podcast, and I just want to say thank you for downloading my 2024 NFL Player Projections template. This tutorial today is going to walk you through all the steps you need to create your own player projections, rankings, and walk away with a draft day cheat sheet. Doesn't matter what format you use. If you're using redraft, best ball, dynasty, this is going to work for any of them. So let's get started. You'll notice in step 1, it asks you to click allow access in the top right corner. This is so that you can get access to the NFL player depth charts, and it'll automatically populate for you. So let me show you what it looks like if you don't click that button first. You'll see that everything in here is blank. There's no information listed. You'll get to the specific player tabs, team tabs, and none of the players are going to be listed. So let's go ahead. Let's click access. We'll wait a second, and then you'll see the names will just automatically appear here. Maybe. There we go. All right. So once those names are in place, you won't have to set anything else after that. For the players themselves, they're going to automatically populate according to the depth charts. So if the depth charts online update, so will this. And this is going through ourlads.com. Not a sponsor, but that tool will allow you to stay up to date with all your depth charts, and you set it once, you forget it, you won't have to worry about it. So let's see here. So if we start back at league settings, you're in this first page, you're going to be able to set your scoring settings for your particular league. So no matter what those are, they're going to be listed here. You can change them if it's in the yellow boxes. Don't touch any of the other information. That's all just a bunch of algorithms and different stuff that's going to make everything else work. And that's pretty much it. So you have a document key listed here, but it's also listed on every single page that you need it for. But green means that's something that you definitely need to enter. That's going to be manual entries from you so that you can make your projections custom and unique. So it's going to be an educated guess based on the information listed below. The yellow boxes, those are going to be optional. That's if you don't like what the averages are telling you, or you think that something's going to be a little different. It just gives you a little bit more customization. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Blue ones, don't touch those. So that's where that information is coming from, ourlads.com. That information's already populated there, so if you change that, you might end up messing up the whole thing. Same with the gray and white boxes. That is just a bunch of algorithms going on in the background, different formulas, so you don't have to touch those. Just the green and the yellow. So going back to that draft day cheat sheet, you're going to see things are already populated. We haven't even put any information in yet. However, the numbers are all going to be completely whack right now because you haven't actually updated any of the information. This is just the very default setting. But you can see the names have all got pulled in, and you're good to go. If we go to Arizona, just to start and kind of learn a little bit, this first team, you're going to notice, first you need to determine the total passing and rushing projections for each team based on historical team trends. So you're going to enter numbers right here and right here. And what I like to do, I've put the information right above. I like to do kind of an average just to get started and put all the information in, and then I go through later after everybody's been entered, and then I can do a little bit more fine-tune edit. So if we're doing this first one, we're looking at their passing attempts. I'm just going to make it simple, and we're going to say they're going to pass 600 times this year. The rushing attempts, it looks like they averaged about 475 over the last couple of years, so we'll start there. And now you can see information's already starting to populate for you, and it's good to go. You get the passing attempts per game, rushing attempts per game. All this information you're going to see. It's going to help us to determine how we're going to delineate who scores what points this year. So this average carry split, this is for your rushing stats. The average target share, this is for your receiving stats. All this information is getting pulled from down below. So it's getting pulled from each different player's profile, and it's looking at the historical data from 2023, 2022, 2021, and 2020. So 4 years back gives you a good sample size for most players. However, you're going to notice even with the Arizona Cardinals right off the bat, they've got a couple players with no information. They got Trey Benson and this no-name guy, Marvin Harrison. Who's ever heard of him, right? No, just kidding. But those two are both rookies, obviously, so they just got drafted. They don't have any data from the NFL, so you're going to have to kind of guess on that information. But when you come down below, you'll notice that I've given some averages of what rookies tend to do, and what just some of the different metrics that are in there have been averaged from other rookies in the past, just so you have a starting place. So if we were to fill out this first column, we would need to do the green buckets right here. So the carry split, and that number should equal 100. So just to get started, it's probably easiest just to enter the information that you see in front of you. Just kind of do a little average. And we're going to have to guess for Trey Benson. I'm guessing he's probably not going to get started until really getting major carries. Probably, let's say, 8 to 10 games this year. That's a very conservative estimate. I don't know. So let's say he gets 24%. I'm just pulling that out of my butt. But it's a starting place so that you can see where you're at. Michael Carter, obviously a lot of people were injured last year. He's RB4 this year. Probably not going to get 24%. So we gave his to Benson. We only have 2% left. So let's say, sorry buddy, you get, oh, and this is a good example of what to do. You're going to have to make sure that percentage sign is in there, or else it's going to mess up the numbers. And remember, Marvin Harrison Jr., he's going to be awesome in the passing game. I doubt he's going to get many rushes, so I'm going to skip him right now. But as you can see, some of these other players have some really small percentages. It probably means they got a couple carries in the past on some trick plays or something like that, or an end around. So for this first time through, I'm just going to go ahead and put some information in there. We still got 0.5 to work with, so we'll give 0.3% to you. And Zach Pascal, it's your lucky day. You get 0.2%. Cool. So then it equals 0%. We have all of the rushing carries that we projected divvied out to the different players. Now we're going to look at the receiving stats. So target share, James Conner, let's give him 7%. Trey Benson, let's give him 3%. DJ Dallas, let's give you 2%. Michael Carter, I'm sorry buddy, you get 1%. Marvin Harrison, he's probably their automatic wide receiver 1 right off the bat. Let's go big. Let's give him 23%. Michael Wilson, 11%. That sounds good. Greg Dortch, give you 5%. Let's go down to 4% for Chris Moore. Zay Jones, he just got brought in this offseason, so we don't know what he's going to look like in this offense. They tend to go down a little bit when they join a new team, so let's give him 10%. Oh, and you see we already were way over budget, so I'm going to have to change these. Oh, because that's 52%, not 5%. There we go. That makes more sense. Zach Pascal, same thing. Let's go down a little bit. Trey McBride, he just started to pick up at the end of the year, so I'm going to give him a little bit more this year. I'm going to say 16%. This is the new kid that they just drafted. Let's give him 4%. We still got this much left, so 3%, 2%, and Greg Dortch, because we like you, we'll bump you up. There we go. So, this is just an example anyway. But all of the targets have been divvied out among the players. So then when you come below, you're going to start to see how this information is populating. So obviously we haven't put anybody else's information in yet. So any other teams, I mean. So Kyler Murray is already our QB1, just because nobody else has had any data entered yet. But after you finish all that data, you'll have a better sense of where these players fall in the mix. But So let me walk you through these different categories here. Once again, don't touch anything here. You don't need to. It's already populated based on formulas, average data, and the information that you just entered above. The only thing that you'll need to add in this section to change things is right over here in the yellow tabs. So these yellow tabs are just duplicates of the boxes that are blue. That way if you don't like what you're seeing there, you are able to override the data. Okay? So for example, Kyler Murray. He's had some injury issues in the past. Last year he only played 8 games. And this season it's projecting that he's doing 12 games because of his average. You'll notice that the last time he played even a full season was in 2020. He played 16 games because there was only 16 games at that point. Now that we're playing a 17-game season, I don't know. Let's just for the sake of this example give him a couple extra. So let's say he plays 15 games this year. You'll notice right away that Desmond Ridder doesn't have that option for games played as the second QB because you can't. The way this is working is just based on starting position. So whatever we give Kyler, Desmond's going to get the rest. So I'm going to put 15 in this box, and you'll see it changes. Only 2 games expected for Desmond Ridder. So, like I said, it's a starting place. If you are really confident that Kyler's going to make it throughout the whole year, he's going to be the starter, you could put 17 there. If you did that, it would change it to 0. But let's start with 15, just so that we can see data for both players. So that's going to automatically give him an 88% of the QB split. So then we're looking through here. It's projecting that he's going to throw 10 interceptions this year. We're going to want to make sure to check that. I think that's a good number. We'll leave that alone. His expected rushing touchdowns are 5. In 2020, he had 11. That was a lot. But other than that, this seems like a pretty good number. Let's leave it alone. Fumbles. He's a mobile quarterback, so he tends to fumble a little bit more often. However, he didn't lose that many. So for now, we're gonna leave all this alone. But like I said, if you had wanted to change any of this information, you could put it right in there. All right, so we'll skip the QB2. I'm happy with all that. Also, if you don't like the view for any of these, I've put in little tabs so you can hide that data. You can streamline it a little bit, make it a little cleaner. And you also have one more tab up here for your red zone data. So all that is currently hidden just so that it fits in the screen a little bit better, but it's totally up to you. You can look at any of that data at any point you choose. So let's go to James Conner. James Conner, it's projecting him at 14 games. That's fine. With the running backs, you're going to have a couple more settings here, so you're able to change the yards per carry. This is all average based off of his information in the past. However, you could change that to be, let's say, you really think the line improved and he's 5.2, something like that. But I think that 4.3 is a good number. Let's see what else here. All right, so when you come down to Trey Benson, this is another good thing to point out for you all. He's a rookie this year, so he doesn't have any information. So these numbers that are populating here are all based on previous rookies' data. So for someone like Trey Benson, maybe it works. When we get down to Marvin Harrison, and he's supposed to be such an elite prospect, maybe you want to bump it up a little bit because you think that he's going to do better than the average rookie. But one thing you're absolutely going to have to do is put in the games played, because that's all based off of average data, and he doesn't have any. So we know he's going to play more than 0 games. Let's say he plays 14. Now you can see information's already entered. On top of that, with the rookies, you're definitely going to need to put in any kind of fumbles or fumbles lost. So as a rookie, if he's playing 14 games, let's say 3 fumbles and 2 lost. Oop, not there. Right here. Just to put something in there, right? What else? So everything else is looking pretty good. Let's come down here. Same thing with this rookie, Marvin Harrison. Oh, I just did what I told you not to do. Don't put any information in there. Put it over here. Fumbles, lost, all of that. We don't really have him doing any rushing attempts, so you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, so this gives you a little bit of sense of how the information can be entered, right? Tip Raymond, he's another one of the rookies, so let's give him 14 games. Once again, over here, not over there. Do as I say, done as I do. Sorry. And you'll see all these other teams, it's the same thing over and over again. But once you enter that data in, let's go to our draft day cheat sheet. You'll see Kyler Murray right at the top, James Conner right at the top, Marvin Harrison right at the top. That's because those are the only ones with any kind of data entered yet. But it'll automatically group them for you. If you want to see a breakdown of the specific position groups, you can have that as well. But ultimately, that's pretty much all you need to know. One thing you could do too, if you are doing multiple drafts, you're doing a redraft, you're doing a Dynasty and a best ball, just enter the different information. Put all the information in first, so you don't have to do all the work once. Fill all this out, and once you're ready to go, then come in, make a copy, and just change the player scoring settings for your different things. So then you're going to have 3 different options of this thing. You'll be able to download each of the draft day cheat sheets. Easiest way to do that, just go up to your file, print that specific page, just print it right out. Make it simple. Save it as a PDF if you want, so you can look at it on your phone or iPad or whatever. But yeah, if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out to me, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.